For decades, people have argued about what actually creates wealth. Is it luck? Is it intelligence? Or is it elite education? To find the answer, researcher Thomas J. Stanley studied over 1,300 millionaires across the United States. But what he discovered wasn't just surprising. It completely changed how wealth actually works. Because the difference between rich, wealthy, and billionaire-level thinking is not visible from the outside. It's behavioral, and almost always, invisible. If you imagine wealth, you probably imagine luxury cars, private jets, and massive mansions. And yes, those things exist in the world of billionaires. But Stanley discovered something different about how wealth is actually built. Most self-made millionaires don't look wealthy while they are building wealth. Not because they reject luxury, but because they delay visibility. They often live in ordinary neighborhoods, drive practical vehicles, and avoid turning income into instant lifestyle upgrades. Because early wealth is not about expression. It is about accumulation. Here's the key shift. Most people convert income into lifestyle. Wealth builders convert income into ownership. At first, the difference is invisible. But over time, it becomes irreversible. One path builds appearance, the other builds leverage. And leverage is what eventually creates billionaires. The most surprising insights are still ahead. Subscribe for more billionaire psychology and wealth building content. At a deeper level, wealthy individuals don't define success by what they can buy. They define it by what they can control. Control over time, control over decisions, control over risk. Stanley's research showed that financial independence, not income, is what actually makes people feel wealthy. That's why the contradiction exists. Some high earners feel trapped, while others with moderate income feel free. Because income creates comfort, but ownership creates options. And options are the real currency of the ultra-wealthy. This is also where billionaire thinking begins to separate. They are not optimizing for salary. They are optimizing for leverage. Leverage in capital, leverage in businesses, and leverage in systems that scale without their constant presence. Every billionaire understands one invisible force: compounding. Not just in money, but in everything. Skills compound, businesses compound, networks compound, reputation compounds. But compounding has a hidden rule. It rewards time more than effort. Most people understand this mathematically. Very few survive it psychologically. Because early results are slow. Almost discouragingly slow. So people quit during the phase where nothing looks like it is working. But the wealthy do something different. They stay long enough for the curve to bend. And once it bends, growth stops being linear. It becomes explosive. After studying hundreds of millionaires, Stanley noticed something consistent. It wasn't intelligence. It wasn't talent. It wasn't even strategy. It was behavior over time. They repeated the same financial discipline for years, while others switched directions constantly. Chasing trends, chasing shortcuts, chasing fast outcomes. But wealth doesn't respond to intensity. It responds to consistency. And consistency looks extremely ordinary in the short term. Which is why most people underestimate it. Because they only notice success at the moment it becomes visible. Not the years when nothing was visible at all. The real discovery from Stanley's research was not about money. It was about thinking. Wealth builders don't think like consumers. They think like owners. They don't prioritize appearance. They prioritize accumulation. And they don't chase speed. They chase durability. That's why real wealth is rarely obvious in the beginning. It only becomes obvious when it is already too late to ignore.